a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win as a consumer advocate. We're touching on some of the world news, local news as well, but we focus mostly as a consumer advocate. We want to help you understand your buying decisions, make you more street smart here, interviewing attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, doctors, so many great experts here. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. That's who powers our program with our real estate business radio show combination. Some really cool stuff happening. I love what Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has done with this Chinese Communist Party owning 160 acres. She's basically put the slap down and said, you're out of here, getting rid of them, expelling these companies. I've got a clip I'm going to play on that coming up, as well as Jason Kobal, attorney Jason Kobal, back here on the program. Kobal Law, personal injury law, and also some of the big companies, they're taking advantage of these little loopholes somewhat in the rules and in the laws around workers' comp. So we're going to discuss that. Personal injury law, how are the new laws affecting the personal injury business, auto accidents? Dr. Michael Schwartz as well. He's the author of Fauci's Fiction. He's got a great book out, and he really dispels a lot of the myths that we've all went through and kind of lived through in this, this information age and lack thereof and misinformation. And also closing out our show, Gunnar Branecki, Guardian Protection. He's our home security and automation expert, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Great Clothing Swap is an event that we've been talking about here. My wife, Lindsay, has spent a lot of time, also our team and a lot of members on the team, putting this together. So we urge you to please come out if you want to support those in the Tampa Bay area. It's a local charitable opportunity. Women and children in need. And what we have is a come and shop till you drop. The big day is November 4th, Saturday, November 4th, the Great Clothing Swap, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Tarpon Springs Yacht Club. So you're going to get amazing, gently used clothing, name brands, some really awesome stuff. I've seen a lot of sorting going on at our home, so there's some great opportunities there for as little as $5. All proceeds are going to help women and children in the area. Perfect time to stop up for holiday gifts and something for yourself. Now, you have VIP tickets as well. That includes first look, apps, mimosas, massage chair, and live music. Saturday, November 4th, coming up here is the Great Clothing Swap put on by Lindsay Rhymes and the Platinum MVP team. So we thank you so much, and please keep us in your prayers as well as we try to do a good event here, something good in the community that's going to help women and children in need. The Great Clothing Swap. You can find it online. There's an Eventbrite there, and we also have a scan that you can just scan with your smartphone. And awesome. Good stuff happening here. A couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. As you know, I own a top real estate team, my wife Lindsay and I, and we like to feature our listings. It's part of our strategy and our USP, unique selling proposition, on how we help sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of their real estate properties. And we got a couple of new listings here. This one's 501 Haben Boulevard, number 803. I love the view from the 8th story of this condo building. It's a beautiful property, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You also have a flexible office space that could be converted to another bedroom. 1,543 square feet. This is a gorgeous condo, sweeping panoramic views overlooking the Manatee River and also the marina that's local there, Riviera Dunes Marina. The community features electronic gate, of course, a lot of security. You also have climate-controlled storage, heated pool, and under-building parking. 501 Haben Boulevard, unit number 803 in Palmetto, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty. Also, 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive. This is a great opportunity for a family. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2334 square feet, 2-story home in the coveted Connerton community. And the community pool, there's 2 pools on site. You have a splash pad, miles of trail, on-site elementary school. Great opportunity for this relatively newer home. 9749 Little Blue Stem Drive, Land O'Lakes. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it
Try that in a small town. That's kind of like the theme of what Sarah Huckabee Sanders says up in Arkansas, Jason. We're going to bring Jason Kobal into the mix now. Attorney Jason Kobal, that is. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure. But yeah, thank goodness for people like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, because we can't rely on our current Biden administration to hold China accountable. Along those same lines, I recently read an article that said that China aggressively intercepted military aircraft of ours 180 times in the last 2 years, which is way more than any 2-year span. And that's because who took over approximately 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, the weakest.
I mean, it's ridiculous how we're getting walked all over.
Illegitimate president. I want to play this clip just to get the full effect for our audience here. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I'm announcing that Syngenta, a Chinese state-owned agrochemical company, must give up its land holdings in Arkansas. Syngenta owns 160 acres in northeast Arkansas, which it uses primarily for seed research. The company that owns Syngenta, Chem China, is also on the Department of Defense's list of Chinese military companies posing a clear threat to our state. Seeds are technology. Chinese state-owned corporations filter that technology back to their homeland, stealing American research and telling our enemies how to target American farms. That is a clear threat to our national security and to our grape farmers, especially since the Chinese government enacted a law in 2017 requiring Chinese citizens abroad to collaborate with their country's security officials on intelligence work.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, so they're telling their citizens, hey, if you are abroad, you have to work with our intelligence, our government. And then on the flip side, we're worried about pronouns. We're having record low turnout as far as people showing up to the military to join the military. There's such a disparage there between our country and their country, Jason. It seems like they're hungry and we're too proud and we're too overly confident, right?
Yeah, I mean, when someone tells you something clearly and their actions are consistent with what they say, we should believe them. China wants to, they continuously publicly state they want to take us off the top spot and be the number one world power, and they're making moves like buying up farmland to pull it off, among many other things. So if we don't wake up and start fighting back, we will lose that top spot. So hopefully President Trump could win a second term and finish what he was starting in his first term, which he was the only one that held China accountable in a long time.
Absolutely. Yep. So, Jason, let's shift gears here from international affairs and talk about local. With the local focus here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we'd like to help consumers understand some of the new laws that are passed, buying decisions, help them avoid commission-based advice. So how are these new laws impacting your personal injury business?
Great question. As you know, the Governor DeSantis, recently approved a bill that our state legislature passed, and it essentially gutted our personal injury law, changed it completely. The most significant change, in my opinion, was they cut the statute of limitations down, which is basically how long from the date of the accident you have to file suit, from 4 years to 2 years. And that's going to be, cutting it in half. That's significant. That's going to obviously cause cases to go on a faster track than probably some of them require. Some cases, where the treatment's dragging along, that's a serious injury, you want to be able to wait a number of years before you file suit. But now that's been cut in half. So that's drastic changes. However, a lot of the attorneys in the area, they were freaking out about the changes and worried about how this was going to impact just day-to-day operations, how much we get offered on cases and whatnot. But so far, it's been, fortunately, not that bad. Even though the changes were made and they were drastic, business has still been, we're having our best year ever. So, it hasn't been as bad as we dreaded. But, yeah, the changes have been made for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes also made in the insurance industry. I think that was a big, it needed to happen. There was a lot of challenges there and a lot of carriers are leaving the state or going out of business. So it's caused a lot of challenges in the real estate space to go along with the feckless leadership of the Fed, raising the rates continuously, not giving a break, having a pause in my, approximation is what should have happened, what we need to do. And otherwise we're going to, drive this, economy into a deeper, but, on one hand, you wonder if they're even concerned about that in DC. But what's your thoughts around the insurance industry in the state of Florida? And I know you're more on the auto side, but it's a big deal with property casualty insurance and home ownership as well.
Oh yeah, I know. Just for my own homeowners insurance situation, it's pardon my language, it's a nightmare. But yeah, I primarily deal with workers' comp insurance carriers and auto accident carriers. But yeah, I heard there's sinkhole issues. A lot of issues going along. But as far as the auto accident law, the insurance companies got hooked up big time because they're going to save a lot of money with these changes, particularly cutting the statute of limitations in half. And then also now, if you have contributory negligence, it used to be where if, say, it was 60% or 50-50 situation, you would get half of your benefits. Well, now, if you aren't 51% or higher, you don't get anything. So now, in that old situation, 50-50, a person can still get half of what, the benefits they are due and owing. But now, with the new law, if it's a 50-50 situation, they get nothing. So, yeah, the insurance companies are going to save a lot.
Wow, that's interesting. We're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Kobal Law, personal injury, workers' comp law. Jason, do you have any recent success stories, or can you give us kind of some insights into your industry there?
Yeah, I have a situation that I'm going to court on, and it's a little upsetting because for years I've always handled a lot of cases where there's employees that were misclassified. It happens a lot. Like you get these construction or companies where they're like, okay, you're an independent contractor, but yet they don't have their own tax ID. They don't have their own business. The only thing that really shows that they're an independent contractor, they pay them 1099, but you need more. Our laws say you have to have certain elements, at least 4 out of the 6 elements in the statute met. And they're very strict, very difficult. But recently, I noticed a couple judges giving Amazon a break, particularly for the Amazon shoppers. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, what they're called. But, and I was reading the decision, and I have a case against them, and we're going to be going to trial, and I'm going to be fighting this. But, for example, one of the requirements is if they're a true independent contractor, they have to have their own business, their own tax ID. And the judge that ruled for Amazon said that's the element that you have to meet. And they said, well, the fact that they used their driver's license to apply for the 1099, that's the same as a tax ID. That's like, wow. That's a stretch. So I think that'll lose on appeal. But I never like when I see monster companies getting benefits that other companies aren't getting.
Right.
Bending the rules for the powerful. I never appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Preferential treatment. And there's a couple different, there's other, to go deeper into that topic. I remember I had a business there was some question about employee versus independent contractor. I know there's some common thresholds, like does the independent contractor have other people that he works for, or is he just simply a captive, there's definitely some other stuff we could dive into that, but let's take a quick break there. We're going to come back more with attorney Jason Kobal, Kobal Law, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Longtime friend of the program. Support the local economy, folks, by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. Real estate, credit, finance, estate and tax planning, self-defense, so many different ways. We've got auto industry experts, boating, yachting experts, private pilots, lots of different ways we can help you here. Home service providers as well. So save our hotline number and give us a call, or check out consumerqb.com. We'll be right back. More with attorney Jason Kobal. I want to discuss BLM with Jason when we come back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Quick shout out to our restaurant partner over at the International Plaza Mall here in Tampa. It's Brio Tuscan Grill. Excellent food from scratch kitchen. The kitchen is just amazing. Say hello to Chef Oscar and Joseph over there. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And they had mentioned an appetizer just by mentioning the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brio Tuscan Grill, Consumer Quarterback Show's restaurant partner for Tampa. International Plaza Mall. Excellent food. I love the calamari. They've got an amazing salad, this salmon salad. I'm just kind of hooked on that one lately, trying to eat healthier with these salads. But excellent food, Brio Tuscan Grill, and they do have catering and dining, your events as well, holiday events coming up. Check them out. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here. 2705 Via Murano, number 116. We've got a beautiful property available here. This is a one-bedroom, one-bathroom, 980 square foot property. It's got a gorgeous community pool, just a real, it looks like a resort pool there, folks. A beautiful property, Tommy Bahama furniture, granite countertops, all types of updates in this property. You got community that has 24/7 guard gate, thermal heating in the pool, sauna, and hot tub. Great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. Also, 3864 50th Avenue South, St. Petersburg. Now, this property comes with a fixed rate locked in the mid-sixes. I know a lot of people are worried about the higher rates in the 7-8%. This property has a very unique program. It's called a fixed rate lock loan, the loan lock. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1659 square foot property, 3864 50th Avenue South, St. Petersburg. It comes with a bought down rate. The rate has already been bought down to around a 6.5, 6.625. Of course, qualifying credit. You got to have qualifying credit and down payment, etc. And this is a great home. You're blocks away from a recently renovated Maximo Marina and famous Tiki Docks. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
And yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, Attorney Jason Kobal, our local PI attorney here in Tampa Bay, personal injury, workers' comp, and he was just discussing how Amazon is kind of using their bullying power as a big company. I hate to see that happen, but something else that's going on right now in the world is this anti-Semitism, this war going on across the globe has really impacted a lot of colleges. If you notice the colleges, a lot of these young, mostly white kids coming out in favor of Palestine and Hamas and these terrorist groups and against the Jewish community in our country. Here's the reason why. Here's what happened. This is Ted Cruz and on his podcast talking about Patrisse Cullors. That's the founder of BLM. Listen to what she says about Israel.
Actions always. The other thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation South Africa. And if
all the sheep will clap.
If we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed.
I want you to hear those words. End the imperialist project that is called Israel.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it, Jason? I mean, they hang their hat on this whole colonialism argument about how bad, the settlers were in America that, brought slavery over, et cetera. No. I was born in 1977, okay? You're born into the generation that you're born into. All of the founding fathers, all of the, George Washington's, all the different, they were born into that period. Every country on the globe had slavery at that time. And if you boil it down, it's just idiotic, and these people are fools, and they're falling for this whole imperialistic and colonization talk. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this is the organization that is responsible for defund the police, which has to be one of the all-time worst policies that was ever pushed in politics. And it hurt our country a great deal, and it's hard to even get police officers to remain employed because they get treated terribly. And that was terrible for our country. And now you see Black Lives Matter holding rallies against Israel. I mean, just unbelievable. So definitely I wouldn't want to be following them on that either because it's dangerous.
Yeah, it really is dangerous. It's extremely pernicious as well. It's something that starts small and then grows. But let's bring it back local here, Jason. So if a consumer has questions and they're in a situation, I mean, it comes up throughout the week. It's like, I wonder if you should talk to an attorney about that. Like, what's your thoughts on different situations that happen and when to consult an attorney?
Well, definitely, not to be tooting my own horn here, but as far as if you get in a car accident and you're hurt at all, you need to call, and especially if it's the other side who caused the accident, you need to get a good attorney because it's a very complicated field, and there's lots of complexities when it comes down to the various policies that could cover an accident. You'd be surprised. There's policies you could get through your employer that people don't even think of. Yeah, definitely if you get in a car accident, you definitely need a lawyer if you're injured, especially if it's a serious injury. And also, I say the same thing if you're injured at work, because in workers' comp in Florida at least, you get thrown into that system the second you get hurt at work, whether you like it or not. And you can either go through that system by yourself or with an attorney who's done it every day for the last 23 years and has seen every situation and knows how to play the game. And it doesn't cost you anything as the injured worker. We get our money, either a piece of the pie we get for the client in settlement, which is only 20%, or if we go to court and win, then the other side pays me. So it doesn't cost the client a dime, and it's always better to have an attorney making sure you're getting all the rights you deserve as opposed to going into the system on your own, because that's a mistake.
Yeah, and Jason Kobal had mentioned in a previous interview where there's some of these bigger companies, a lot of times they'll try to push the client into a quick settlement. And Jason, quick synopsis, you were able to help this lady, I believe it was, capture so much more money back than the other attorney was trying to force them or push them to settle. About a minute, back to you.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of this one, and it's almost hard to believe. But I have all the proof that it legitimately happened. But what happened was this person was represented by a prior attorney in a huge firm, and they told him, long story short, he had neck, back injuries, but also had seizures. And the long story short, his attorney didn't believe him, told him forget the head. And then so he fired that attorney because he told him to take $75,000. And I have a letter from that attorney telling the other attorney that he thinks he could get it done for $75,000. He gets fired, hires me, and I was like, I don't know why they would say that, but let me send you to my expert doctors and neurologists and see what they say about the seizures. We were able to prove that it was caused by the accident, and we settled that case 11 months later for $1 million. So
$1 million,
$75,000 to $1 million.
Wow, awesome, great job, Jason Kobal.
Thanks.
Check him out online, Kobal Law, and you can call our hotline 727-263-3707. 727-263-3707. And we'll be right back here. More with Dr. Michael Schwartz coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, author of Fauci's Fiction. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.